Africa's success depends on the total liberation of Congo. Why am I saying this? Congo is one of the richest countries in the world, if not in Africa. Congo is one of the resource-rich countries in the world, if not in Africa. Congo is one of the wealthiest countries in Africa, if not in the world. According to a report by the GSP Hub, the Democratic Republic of Congo is considered the world's richest country in terms of wealth in natural resources, and most of the raw materials remain untapped and are worth an estimated 24 trillion US dollars. And according to this report, these deposits includes the world's largest coltan reserves and considered amounts of cobalt. Now, some would say that Congo has been bewitched by its vast natural resources. Some will also say that Congo's problem lies with colonialism. Others will also say that Congo's problem lies with Western influence. In these arguments, one of the potential arguments that I would support strongly is that Congo's problems lies with colonialism and the influence from the West. Congo, despite being rich, is considered one of the 5 poorest countries in the world. Congo's poverty and the suffering of the people of DR Congo lies in the instability in the country. And the instability in the country rises from the strong competition by foreign governments to access mineral resources in Congo. Remember, when I started this discussion, I did say that Congo is one of the richest countries in the world, if not in Africa. But in Africa, we can say that Congo is one of the richest mineral rich countries in Africa, if not in the world. Our founding fathers also believed in the strength of Congo. In fact, they believed in the ability of Congo to lead Africa to success and to some extent supply the world's most desired needs. According to a statement that Kwame Nkrumah delivered in 1963 during the Addis Ababa conference, Kwame Nkrumah was very specific to Congo, and in his statement he believed in the strength of Congo. He believed in the mineral resource richness of DR Congo. In fact, to be specific, Kwame Nkrumah said, and I quote, "Our continent certainly exceeds all the others in potential hydroelectric power, which some experts assess as 42% of the world's total. What need is there for us to remain hewers of wood and drawers of water for the industrialized areas of the world?" Now, when you somehow listen to Kwame Nkrumah's speech, you will understand that in 1963 Addis Ababa conference, there was this project of Inga Dam project that was in the making. Inga Dam project was to be established in DR Congo. And according to the founding fathers' estimates, Inga Dam project was to supply all Africa's electricity needs. That is one of the significance that the founding fathers attached to DR Congo. They believed that with the construction of Inga Dam project, the electricity needs of Africa could be solved. Today, when we talk about Africa, we talk about a continent with constant electricity blackouts. If this Inga Dam project was completed in Congo, then the constant blackouts in Africa could be nowhere to be seen. And that is why I say that Africa's success lies in the liberation of DR Congo. If DR Congo was successful and peaceful, then the Inga Dam project was to be completed, could have been completed by now, and Africa's electricity problems could have been solved by now. Kwame Nkrumah also said that for centuries Africa has been the miscow of the Western world. It was our continent that helped the Western world build up its accumulated wealth. Africa provides more than 60% of the world's gold, a great deal of the uranium for nuclear power, of copper for electronics, of titanium for supersonic projectiles, of iron and steel for heavy industries, of other minerals and raw materials for lighter industries. The basic economic might of the foreign powers come from our continent. Experts have estimated that the Congo Basin alone can produce enough food crops to satisfy the requirements of nearly half the population of the world. Listen to that speech. This is Kwame Nkrumah talking to other founding fathers, other African leaders in 1963. And Kwame Nkrumah is saying that experts estimated that the Congo Basin alone can produce enough food crops to satisfy the requirements of nearly half the population of the world, not Africa, but the world. If DR Congo can produce enough food to supply, to satisfy the requirements of nearly half the population of the whole world, then it means that the Congo Basin can produce food that can satisfy the requirements of the whole of Africa. If the Congo Basin is tapped, if the potential in the Congo Basin is tapped, then that means that Africa's food shortage shall have been solved. That is how critical Congo is. That is how important DR Congo is. And that is how integral DR Congo is to the development of Africa. Today, when we talk about DR Congo, we talk about a continent where innocent civilians die each and every day. When we talk about DR Congo, we talk about a continent where there are more than 200 militant groups. When we talk about DR Congo, we talk about a country where Western foreign governments flex their muscles. When we talk about DR Congo, we talk about a country where the likes of Wagner group are killing civilians to access mineral resources. That is the DR Congo we are talking about today. It is not the DR Congo that Kwame Nkrumah envisioned in 1963. It is not the DR Congo with the potential to supply the continent's food requirements. It is not the DR Congo with the vast mineral resources that are capable of supplying the needs of the world and Africa. It is not the DR Congo that Kwame Nkrumah said could generate electricity enough to support 42% of the world's electricity requirements. Africa's success depends on the liberation of DR Congo. And if DR Congo is liberated, then these untapped mineral resources will be tapped. If DR Congo is liberated, then Inga Dam project will be completed and Africa's electricity problem shall have been solved. If DR Congo is liberated, then Africa's food shortage problem will be solved, because as we have listened, Kwame Nkrumah said that DR Congo, the Congo Basin alone, has the potential to satisfy the food requirements of half the world population. Half the world population. That means that the Congo Basin alone can satisfy the food requirements of the whole of Africa if it is tapped. And all this can happen if there is peace in DR Congo. And that is why I have always emphasized on this platform that African leaders should solve the crisis in DR Congo, and they should end the war in DR Congo, because Africa's success, Africa's development lies in the liberation of DR Congo.